All right, so I'm super excited to say that we made it to account 47 and we can auto Wyvern 13. So I'm first going to show you guys the team I've been using. We're on account day 8, by the way. Let's see here. Day 8. So in 8 days, we were able to get to Wyvern 13. Very doable. I was actually able to do Wyvern 13 before I broke the free-to-play barrier. I ended up buying some charms and some summonings post Wyvern 13 completion. I'm gonna go show you guys that team right now. So the team comp I was using basically SSB. I feel like she's the easiest way to get through this. She is going to be usable through a lot of content. I know a lot of people were debating whether or not they should get her because the summer banner is going to be coming back up. I still think it's worth grabbing. I even got a dupe, and I am not mad about that. With the duplicate, it does make my Angelica, my frontliner, a little bit more tanky, as well as if I do get an imprint concentration, I'll go ahead and slap that on her. If I ever get her to, like, let's say S, maybe, that'd be super very helpful, especially with eventually I want to move to having a one-shot comp because I have all the characters for it, minus the Sinful Angelica. So SSB, primary damage dealer, making sure all my characters is at 65% or as close to 65% as possible for effectiveness, because that effectiveness is what's going to make or break your runs. As you can see, I'm using pretty much level 50 characters. Most characters other than your frontline and your primary DPS doesn't need to be 6-star. I'll eventually get some more Mui dupes and then he'd move over. He was the person I used at 1 imprint concentration I got when I started, so eventually I'll get him up to triple S and I'll be able to modify gear from that. But he's on that free gear. I got some decent rolls on the health set as far as effectiveness, and this early in the game you can't waste anything, so just put it on him. He's a tertiary DPS, so I do have him on Daydream Joker. 1, because I don't have any better thief artifacts, and 2, it's just good to have because when he does crit, it's gonna hurt. So if you're curious about the stat rolls, you can go ahead and go to the Discord. I post them quite often, or if anybody ever asks, I'll just post them again. It's not a big deal. Angie, not even fully level 60 because I haven't really been autoing 13. I only auto it just to see the consistency, but I do want to save up for the hunt event. There actually is going to be one in a couple days, so that's probably when I'm going to actually, like, no shit, fully invest into that event, and just do as many Wyvern runs as possible. But this is her gear. Standard health set, spam, Alexa. So the only gear here that I didn't get that was free was this helmet here, and there's nothing really impressive about it. I would just really wanted to get some a crit chance and effectiveness. So believe it or not, I actually thought that was crit chance when I started leveling it, but when I leveled it, it got a +9, so I was like, I might as well max it. So, and it didn't roll too bad. Her stats aren't awful. By attacking a fire unit, she's going to be at 96% crit chance. So, pretty much almost guaranteeing that. Almost guaranteeing. And yeah, that's pretty much the Wyvern team here. Those are the only characters geared. Now I'm going to go over, like, how to get to this step, right? It's probably the most important thing is, like, you don't really care about what I did. You want to know, like, how I got there. All right, so first things first, Adventurer's Path. You got to do it. You got to do the Adventurer's Path. Save the resources, especially if you see resources that look like this. These are the type of things you want to chase. All right, you need those resources. Those are what's going to get you to actually level up your gear, because this game is less character focused and more gear focused when it comes to actually reaching potential. Because you can have the best character in the game, but if they're poorly geared, they're not really going to do anything. So when it comes to getting charms, all right, the things you want when it comes to what we like to call left side gear, which is going to be your chest, your weapon, your boots. Technically, they're on the right side, but boots and helmet. What I like to do is I set my high command to be dispatch. My dispatch to be conquest, because these conquest points are going to come in very handy. All you have to do is just +1 the building one time with the Breath of Orbis to unlock the war missions, and then from there just do whichever ones you can. If you can invest another one in there, I prefer to do the 30-minute one when I know I'm actively playing, but to each its own. 15 here, 15 there does add up, because what you can do with those is you're going to be able to buy the charms that are in here. And these charms do go a long way. They add up pretty quickly, especially if you're doing the arena actively. So that is one thing. As far as getting better equipment as well, keep in mind those charms are, you don't have to buy charms, but you can also buy the arena gear. So this is a really solid piece. A lot of this stuff is on sale, so if it says 70%, I recommend you get it. Minus the Warfare season, only because it's level 67. You're probably going to want to try your best to stay at gear that's level 70 or higher. Preferably 75 or higher, but slowly phasing out that level 70 gear only because it doesn't really scale well into the late game. Next thing is going to be, make sure you are doing your Abyss and your actual labyrinths, because these labyrinth runs, these are what's going to get you essentially your right side gear. These ancient coins add up over time. You should unlock Nixie, but I was spamming the regular raid and doing other achievements and stuff like that. But if you can farm Nixie. They drop about 15 per run, I believe. Do get a positive, you want a labyrinth team that can get you at least 30 morale, so that you can do another 3 battles in the labyrinth once you hit that 50% mark. My team that I use for labyrinth, this is my raid team. You can use anything. Do check the Discord, because inside the Discord you'll be able to reference a lot of the gear, a lot of the features that allow you to do labyrinth calculators or best early game teams and stuff like that. Another thing I want to show you is you can buy from the merchant Hoochie, similar to the one that's in the shop right now. If you're watching this while he's in shop, you can find Hoochie in majority of the labyrinths. He's always in the same spot each time. You go to him daily and you will see that there are plenty of goodies that you could buy. I think only the charms are the ones that are worth it. As you can see, he's always selling something different every day. He'll have at least two greater charms, and he'll have, maybe if you're lucky, 2 lesser charms as well. So this is just Terrell Castle at the very top, towards if you go teleport to the top right, you just walk 5 steps this way. There's not even a battle on the way, so you should be perfectly fine. The other cool thing about it is that you could just exit after you buy the items, and it doesn't consume any of your actual fucking compasses. So you'll be able to do that every day, and then be able to actually do the ones that you really want to challenge, like let's say freaking Aza, or however you say it. I'm not even gonna try. Alright, and lastly, the other way to get charms, or should I just say to upgrade gear, would be to do labyrinth stages. As you can see, I'm on 10-3. This is going to be a really easy cheat code method to get a lot of equipment that you can upgrade with, especially if you're hurting for just trying to at least +9 your gear. +9 your gear is what I recommend that you do, because by +9ing it, you'll pretty much be able to get a lot more spread load with your equipment to hit better thresholds with stats, you know what I mean? So this is only in the regular eventer. It is not in unrecorded. So if you do those, you'll be able to reach these very easily farmable stages where you can pretty much just set the game on auto. But you do have to manual it. But by manualing it, you'll just be able to continuously clear and clear and clear. Make sure that the enemies that you are fighting or the ones that you chase down are ones that drop the resources that you're actually after. I believe there's some that drop quick claws very often. There's one energy stages as well that you can abuse if you have that kind of time. Alright, just to fast forward a little bit, just to show you some of the resources I got. I didn't even fight every battle. I just kind of sped through it. So I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 battles. Out of those 6 battles, these are the resources I got. They're pretty handy. Obviously, this, again, as I said, make sure that whatever stage you do choose to fight, it drops whatever resources you want. So in my case, I want Ring of Glories for SSB, and that's what I got. So just keep that in mind. So that pretty much sums up the different methods to actually leveling up equipment. If anyone else has any other methods, go ahead and put them inside the comments below. I'll read them, make sure I didn't forget anything, test it out. So the next thing I'm going to go over is what you should actually prioritize as far as the game. So how did I get all this equipment, right? Is the biggest thing. So this is one of the free sets from the Adventurer's Path, along with the crit chance and crit damage necklace. And yeah, pretty much all the gear that I was using at the time, minus like 2 pieces, were free gear. As you can see, this is from the arena. It's a good one because it had effectiveness, and I did get some effectiveness rolls, so that does help. A lot of the gear that I have on most of my characters are just the free sets because they scale well for what you're trying to accomplish, and they also will scale well into late game as far as having your PvE units geared, not with your PvP gear. Like your highest stat gear and stuff like that, the really good stuff is the stuff that you want to put on your PvP characters. And you don't want to have to be in a situation where you have to split your PvP gear with your PvE units. Because if you end up doing that, you'll be wasting a lot of gold, especially if there isn't a free unequip or anything like that. And then it'll also limit how much you play because I can't do this and that at the same time, so you have to pick yada yada yada. Alright, cool. So maximizing your time, alright? Again, I did this at first free to play. I only waited till after I did Wyvern 13 to go ahead and start actually like buying charms and stuff like that. You know, small amounts of dollars. And first things first, events, alright? You have to do the events. I know a lot of this probably looks very confusing, but you have to do these hunt event is going to help you a lot. So a lot of the free sets that you see that my characters have on, they come right out of here. So here's the free health set here on the second challenge for the AP exchange. Then over here for the promotion, right? Promote 4 stars. That's where you get that other attack set. Enhancements as well. So when you're plus 15 in your gear, you're also receiving more rewards. These are the things that you want to rush, because by rushing this stuff, you get pretty much a lot of resources that you can feed into the character that they give you for free. Not only that, but you can also utilize those resources in exchange for other characters. And the health and attack set is always good to have. Make sure you collect tickets. All right, you got to collect your tickets because this is what's going to give you a lot of your free energy and things of that sort, so that you don't overuse your leaves when you don't need to, especially when your account's a little bit on the lower level side and you're over capping on energy quite often, pretty much when you use leaves. As far as what you want to get out of the shops and stuff like that, the shops rotate. So if you're watching this video like months from now, this won't be the same shop or same format that the event will be in. However, the rewards usually don't change that often. So prioritize whatever you need. I started off with the right side gear, which is going to be your necklace and your rings, because that is one of the resources that are a little bit more scarce early game. Then I started transitioning towards the right side gear, and then energy for last, but I'll probably prioritize energy because the hunt event is coming, and I already have a majority of my hunt specific gear already leveled. So between that hunt and the adventurer's path, it should put you perfectly on place as far as where you want to be. And also, do not ignore your moonlight blessing. I'm choosing to go with Spectre Tenebria. My thoughts on that was RB is interchangeable with a lot of different characters as far as a farmer, and I do not like RB as far as PvP. That's just my personal opinion on RB. He's a very specific pick. But Spectre Tenebria, if we're talking PvP and PvE, she fits into a lot of comps. Her poison is pretty much one of the god level debuffs for PvE content, such as Abyss, and she's also pretty much a must-have if you're trying to do RTA because of the amount of counter units and stuff like that. And her true stealth is just so toxic to deal with, especially if you don't have the right setup. But I'll talk about tier list and stuff like that in another video one of these days if you guys actually want one. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the Moonlight Blessing, you could always switch who you picked. So, for example, I picked Spectre Tenebria. Let's say you don't want to do like I did and you don't want to 6-star Free Spirit Tierra. I use my Potion of Ascension on her because her second skill comes max and it does relatively decent amount of damage. And I was going to use her to clear mobs and Spectre Tenebria to kill bosses. So it worked out. However, other characters that fill in that farming role could be Lena or anyone that has like multiple AoE attacks, SSB, or you could just go for a slower gameplay with whoever you pick. But you can always pick RB, then reset and switch to another character after you're done utilizing RB for whatever it is. And the last priority should be, which is one of the missions for the Moonlight Blessing, is completing the unrecorded history. You're gonna want to rush to 100% this. You're gonna want to rush to 100% this because one, it gives you a lot of good resources. It gives you this, and if you can complete the unrecorded history, all of chapter 2 is pretty much going to be easy mode for you because you'll be at the point in the game where you fought difficult bosses. Not saying that they're going to be Straw's level. He's one of the bosses in chapter 2, spoiler alert. But the equipment you get, the resources you get available to you, such as the AP exchange to be able to get the catalyst you want and things of that sort, very important. So just keep that in mind. That pretty much sums up this video. Everything you need to know to get the Wyvern team. So I'm just gonna show you guys. Alright, I'm just gonna show you guys one run on auto. Now the first time I did it, Angelica wasn't 6-starred and SSB was like level 55. So I actually did manual it, but a manual win is still a win, okay?
Let's start with something light. Sword of Righteousness! I won't go easy on you.
Death is closer than you think. Here.
Back out now. I thought this could be fun. Now I'm getting bored.
And there you have it. Wyvern 13 auto. 8 days.